Hey, it's Patrick from JMP Cycles, and this is the top 8 modifications you should do to your Harley Davidson when you buy it. Now, it doesn't matter if it's a brand new Harley Davidson or a used one, or even if it has a few things already done to it. We all like to modify our bikes to fit us, whether it be performance fittings or just plain old aesthetics. So here's a list of 8 things that I always start with. This may vary a little bit depending on your budget or quite simply what you like. First thing I do, put an exhaust on it. You know what, we all love the sound of a Harley. Stock exhaust is very, very limited. Also, those Harleys are gonna breathe better with an aftermarket exhaust, give you a little more pep in the step. I love to put an exhaust on it right away. Going hand in hand with that is an intake. Air in, air out. That's what we want to do. We want to get there in the bike, we want to get out as fast as we can to increase the performance of the engine. Along with the exhaust, it can really affect the aesthetic of your motorcycle. Number 3 basically has to go with those two. If you're gonna change the air in and the air out, i.e. the intake and the exhaust of your motorcycle, you need to tune it. No matter if you have a carbureted bike or a fuel injected bike, you need to match that fuel flow with that new increased airflow. So a jet kit, if you have a carbureted bike, or a tuner, if you have a fuel injected bike, it's gonna go a long way. So that's number 3. Number 4 is suspension. This is where you can maybe see the greatest amount of improvement with this modification. Harley stock suspension basically is terrible. At least put a set of rear shocks on the bike, and if you have the budget, go ahead and get into that front end, drop in a cartridge kit or a spring kit. You'll see huge improvements on your Harley Davidson by upgrading the suspension. This can also affect the aesthetic. Most of the time, I like to raise the ride height of these Harley Davidsons, get them to turn into a corner a little bit quicker. So not only will it affect the handling of the bike, it'll affect the aesthetic a little bit also. 5th thing is handlebars. This is where you can really kind of fit the bike to yourself. This is a very personal choice, whether you like ape hangers or T-bars, you want to pull them back, you want to push them out. Changing the handlebars can get you way more comfortable on the motorcycle and therefore more comfortable going through corners, more comfortable in just riding the bike around. Handlebars is a big, big upgrade. As far as the installations on these modifications, handlebars probably the hardest of the bunch here, but we have plenty of videos on that I'll link you to. It's actually not that hard to do. Number 6 is the easy one, but a huge, huge improvement with lighting, especially with LED technology these days. If you buy an older model bike, it has incandescent lighting all the way around. An LED headlight is a huge upgrade. You can put LED turn signals and an LED taillight on there. Your bike will be seen much, much easier by other vehicles on the road, and you'll be able to see a lot farther in the dark. Those are huge upgrades, and again, they will also affect the look of your motorcycle. Most LED taillights and turn signals out there can be done a lot smaller and a lot sleeker, kind of fit the look of your bike, and also be much, much brighter than the stock incandescent lighting. Number 7, it's a really easy one to do, huge improvement, a seat. Quite frankly, changing out those junk seats, putting something like a Mustang or a LaPera or a Saddleman on there, making you more comfortable in riding it, but it will also affect the aesthetic. You can get a slam down seat, you can get a big cushy seat, you can get like a step up. It's going to help further the aesthetic of the bike in the direction you want. Last but not least, a windshield or a fairing. Again, this is personal preference when it comes to the aesthetic of the bike, but if you're gonna be riding this bike any kind of distances or on the highway, some sort of wind protection is going to be awesome. Makes a huge difference, especially in the colder months. And again, it will affect the aesthetic of the bike. Places like Memphis Shades make quick release windshields and fairings. You can take them off the bike when you're not using them. If you like the look of a fairing, there's a handful of options out there. I'm gonna throw in a couple of bonus items here. Cams and brakes. Those would be next step items in my book. Something like a cam obviously is going to help put more power into the motorcycle. And since you've already put that intake and exhaust on there, you're gonna have that added benefit of those items being useful again when you add those cams in there. Brakes, this one goes overlooked a lot by Harley Davidson riders, but a good set of brakes is very, very noticeable. Make you more confident in riding your motorcycle knowing you have that stopping power. You can throw a set of PMs on there, throw a set of Nest calipers and rotors on there, something like that is really, really gonna help the motorcycle when you're getting around town or blasting through canyons, going down the highway. High level of confidence in your brakes is a good thing to have. As always, have any questions about any of this stuff, check out our other videos. We have tons of installs, or you can always drop us a comment. Go work on those motorcycles.